Hello, this is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. It's Wednesday, the 7th of February, 2007. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some stocks for trading on Thursday. We've got shares of Advanced Magnetics on the screen, symbol AMAG, and if we back this up to a weekly time frame, you'll see that the stock is trading at all-time highs, finding support along this 10-week or 50-day moving average. And all these moving averages are advancing here. It looks like it's finding support there, so when we look at a shorter-term time frame, to get a closer look at the action and see where the buyers are going to retake control if they can. We're looking at the 10-minute time frame right now, and it looks to me like if this stock can get above $63 a share, we've had this resistance recently, that the buyers will successfully take control and punch a higher high to match these higher lows that I'm outlining right now. We've also got a rising 5-day moving average, so that's bullish. And I think the pressure is building for an upside breakout that if we buy it above $63 a share, we then risk about 55 cents by putting our stop down at 62.45, and it looks to me like the stock ought to make it up to a minimum of about $65 a share. So that would give us about $2 of potential upside for taking a risk of about 55 cents. Symbol CRUS is the symbol for Cirrus Logic, and you can see here on this daily time frame, we tried this one I think back in here but never got an entry. The stock, though, is above all these rising moving averages, and you can see that it broke past some resistance, had a little bit of a shakeout in here, but the buyers did take back control with very impressive volume. So it showed there was a lot of conviction behind that buying, and it's been consolidating in a pretty tight range here over the last couple days. When we look at a weekly time frame, I think it's safe to expect this stock maybe can get up towards this $8.50 level. So that's going to be our upside objective for this stock. And to buy it, I think we want to be safe and see that the buyers have taken control by making a higher high that is pushing above $7.90. So if we buy it above $7.90, we could put a stop below today's low, which was so we could put our stop at $7.71. That would give us a risk in this case of 19 cents a share, and with a target of $8.50, we would be rewarded potentially with about 60 cents of upside. United Airlines, symbol UAUA, is in a nice uptrend here as well. It's had a pretty good little pullback in here, but to the rising 50-day moving average. So as long as that 50-day moving average is advancing, we're going to continue to give it the benefit of the doubt. A lot of times what happens when it breaks below the 50-day moving average and closes below it a few times is it brings in a lot of short sellers who quickly regret it, because obviously you can see in the weekly time frame we're at a pretty important area where we had these highs after the IPO, after the reorganization. We had that resistance there, and now it seems to have found support once again. So when we look at, for instance, a 30-minute time frame, I like this time frame because we can see about a couple weeks worth of data in here, and it looks to have made a nice little inverted head and shoulders bottom, maybe another little right shoulder, or maybe you want to call this an ascending triangle. Whatever you want to call it, it looks bullish because it's making higher lows, and it keeps hammering away at the resistance up near this $45.50 level. Each time that resistance is tested, it removes the supply there and makes it easier for the stock to break forward once that supply is removed. So I think breaking above, in this case, what we want to do, here, let's take a look at a 10-minute time frame. What I want to see the stock do is first pull back to $45.20, then purchase it as it breaks back above $45.20. So a slight pullback, and then the buyers regain momentum. I think that's going to be enough to push the stock up through the neckline of that inverted head and shoulders pattern, which occurs about $45.60. So maybe you buy a little bit at $45.20, add to it above $45.60. I'll probably buy it all at $45.20 and keep a tight stop. I think a stop should go at about $44.45. So that's about 75 cents of risk, which sounds like a lot of risk, but our target is going to be up here at about $48.50 a share. So that's $3.30 away. And if you quickly take the height of this neckline, just not all the way down to here, but just to this level, that's about 3 points. So when you break it, when you add it to the breakout point, that gives us a price target of about $48.50, and that's also where we had this gap occur. So that's the price objective. So we're looking for about $3.30 of upside for the potential reward, and about 75 cents of risk in UAUA. Alexion, ALXN, I typed it in backwards. ALXN, Alexion Pharmaceuticals, is a stock that looks to be breaking down, just kind of holding in here. You could even call this, let's take a look at a 30-minute time frame. You hear, well, look at the hourly, I guess. If we look at what this really looks like, though, is imagine what a cup and handle is, and maybe you want to do a handstand to take a look at this and see it a little bit more clearly. But you could call this an inverted cup and handle. But basically what we see here is we see a lower high, and we see support being tested in here more frequently. The more frequently it's tested, the more aggressive the supply is becoming. So it looks to me like this stock is ready to break down. I'd like to sell the stock short below $40.95 a share. Let's place a stop up at about $41.25. So that's about 30 cents of risk. And the price target is going to be about 39.5. So we're looking for about $1.45 in profit and taking about 30 cents of risk in ALXN.